and welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey, you get off my lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer, we do a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, be warned. Of course, if you are attending live, you can ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction I might be in for you. I don't know. And feel free to ask whatever questions are on your brain, like sitting right at the surface and you're like, oh, I really need to know. Yeah, feel free to ask those questions. I do not believe in dumb questions, and I know there are people of varying skill levels who are, at the beginning of this journey, in the middle, maybe near the end. Who knows? Open to anyone and everyone, so feel free to ask. Of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Do not send it off to links to other sites, because it just won't do it. So it has to be attachments in the email. Attached. Like you took some super glue, and then put them together. Yeah, it's like that. It's just like that. It's exactly the same. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there 24/7. So feel free to join us there and ask your questions as well. I mean, it doesn't always have to be just all about me. It doesn't have to all be about me. I mean, it can be, obviously this whole thing is all really about you guys. Also at wayofthebrush.com is the links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. Of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon support. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel just would not be able to continue. I would not be able to continue the work that I do, which is educate and inform and sometimes entertain. Oi, jeepers. Sir Peanut Butter, thank you for subscribing with little monkey ears. The little alerts always scare the heck out of me. It's like, I need something like, whoa. Oh, it's already gone. Damn it. You're interrupting my spiel, Sir Peanut Butter. You're interrupting my spiel, man. Like it's a bad thing, right? Where was I? T-shirts, page. Oh, huge thank you to all my patrons. So without you guys, this wouldn't be able to continue on. And there are varying tiers of support and perks associated with those tiers. So feel free to click on whatever makes sense to you. And a huge thank you for everybody who does. Of course, if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing, ringing the bell, and all that other all that jizz. Just all that jizz. Just feel free to throw it my way. Yeah, so all that stuff. It appeases the algorithm god, and, we're all about appeasing the algorithm god. Everybody who's on these platforms, Twitch and YouTube and whatever other social crap they're on, they're all about appeasing the algorithm god. They don't give a shit, myself included. I don't give a shit about you at all. 100%, I don't. I'm all about the algorithm god. It's all to feed the algorithm god. We're keeping it real this Saturday. We're keeping it real. Everybody's like, really? He doesn't give a shit? Damn it. I feel so lied to. Big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always, much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby bro, Evan, for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. Always much love to my baby bro, Evan. And of course, if you're into rare comics, like rare, like we're talking like you need that little eye loop, the little magnifier, right? It sticks right in your eyeball, and you need that until like you're inspecting and everything like that. Yeah, if you're into that kind of rare comic, he's got your hookup. EB Comics is in the description below. Check him out if you're into comics, and if you're not, well, I don't know, check it out anyway. You never know. You might I'm sure everyone out there has or knows people who are into comics and are just all about that comic. Just all about it. I love comics. Like WandaVision. Did you guys watch WandaVision? No? Man, weak. That's weak. That's some weak tea. Who's joining us today? I can see Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Hey, Kris and Monkeys. Getting started on my C-3PO eyes today once I've tested out my new paints a little bit. Cool. Oh, did you? Yeah, you picked up that fluorescent? Yeah. I think we were looking at his pictures last week, right? Ghost Starman Deluxe. And we were talking about C-3PO. He has the C-3PO from, I don't know, he's whatever tabletop thing, The game. The game, the Star Wars, the C-3PO. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he wanted to make the eyes look a little bit more, like what we see on the screen. Of course, we're talking about a 2D image transferred onto a 3D surface. So there is a degree of confinement in making that kind of interpretation. But, yeah. Evan Belleau, sup, everybody? Sup? Raziel, what? What? Brandon Taylor, good afternoon, B-Man. Sir Peanut Butter, morning, Kris and Peeps, morning. Fire Drake 18, hello, Kris and Monkeys, hello. Hey, Kris, I heard of a concept I've never heard of before called mothercolors. Adding a bit of the same color to all colors. Can you elaborate or do a tutorial? Mothercolors. Actually, I'm not that familiar with this concept. In the traditional color wheel, you have the primary colors, then you have secondary, and then tertiary, and then everything else, falls out of that place. Adding a bit of the same color to all colors. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this concept. I don't know. It's not something I'm familiar with. But by the sounds of it, adding a bit of the same color to all colors. So, for example, if I was doing, say, I don't know. I guess in most instances, when we are tinting our colors or shading our colors, we often will add white or black. If I'm understanding this concept correctly, then white or black becomes our mother color because it's a color we're adding to all colors to bring them to, a similar value or hue, right? Is that the concept we're talking about? Did I just elaborate on it? Do I need to make a tutorial on it? I'm not going to make a tutorial on something that I'm not familiar with. I would not feel like I'm conveying all or good information. So now I have no idea where this concept comes from. So you're going to have to elaborate because I'm not familiar with it. But did I get it correct as far as is this a guessing game now? Are we throwing concepts at Kris just to see if I've heard everybody's made up bullshit way to describe colors and how we work with colors? Yeah, is that what we're doing now? Dr. Zantos, hello, Monkey Lord, hello. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, episode 336, all that jizz. Just throw it all, like, here. Just throw it all my way. Go ahead. Yeah, this shit got weird really fast. Derek Luterus, what up, guys? Been a while since catch the show. Yeah, Derek Luterus, been a while since I've read that name. Here's another name I haven't read in a bit. Vasily Shimko. There he is. What's up, Basil? Hello, Kris. Hello. Wait, how do you say hello in Russian? Das vidanya? Is that hello? Is it greetings? Or is that the other one for saying goodbye? Shit. I fucked it all up. Razio, I like WandaVision. I liked it too. I thought it was good. It was different, and it is, it was a surprise, and I like that, they departed from the usual way of telling boring old superhero stories. I thought that was kind of fun, and it's a fun way of basically formalizing the character right? Because she hadn't been formalized in any of the other, shows, right? We have always known that, what her comic book name is, but she's never been called that in there. And so this is the first time we actually hear her being referred to by her superhero name. And yeah, it's fun. I liked it. I thought it was a really good show. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Yeah, we talked about my C-3PO last week. He's from Star Wars Legion. Star Wars Legion. That's right. That goddamn mother color. Yeah, that mother color. Oh, mother color. You gotta lower your voice a bit. Oh, mother color. David Vega, what's up, Kris and Monkeys? Great day to hobby. It is a great day. Well, I mean, around my parts, it is a little cold, a little bit snowy, and it's okay. I'll say it's kind of crappy out. It's kind of cold. It's kind of snowy. The sun was out this morning, and then it just disappeared. And yeah, it's gray. It's all gray. Vasily, I'm alive. I can see that. Unless, of course, you're a bot. And I think we have you under the bot, isn't it? Anyway. Ghost Starman Deluxe. We strayed into the OnlyFans territory. Yeah, do we ever actually exit it? Yeah, if I get any kind of strikes or bans or anything like that, yeah, I'm just moving over to OnlyFans. And yeah, I'll just, because that way I can say and do whatever I want. Literally. Old man Logan, there he is. Hello, Kris and Monkeys. Happy Saturday. Hope all is well. Yeah, everything's going pretty well. Vasily Shimko. No, Das Vidanya is goodbye. Oh, okay. Das Vidanya. Okay. Like, what do I know? Like, I'm some sort of world traveler. Well, it's actually similar to Till We Meet Again. Right. Yeah. Yeah, because goodbye, because in Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, we don't say goodbye. We don't have a goodbye. It's see you later. It's until we meet again. It's I'll see you later kind of thing, right? It's that kind of sentiment. We don't say goodbye because goodbye is very final, right? Goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Bye. Well, you know what I mean? Like you're never going to see that person again. Bye, right? And so don't really say that. It's usually till I see you again. Even in death, we don't say goodbye. Because even in death, that it's a common cultural perception that death is just another path, right? And, you move on to the spirit world, and I'll see you in the spirit world. So I'll see you later. Even if I never see you again in our lifetimes, I will see you later because I most likely will bump into you in the spirit world. And it's that kind of sentiment, right? So you never really, not see another again, Anyway, where was I? Okay, so then what's hello? I mean, we okay, so Das Vidanya is till I see you again, or till we meet again, however we want to say it. What's hello? What's hello? I mean, in Russian, what's hello? Like, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember all my movies. I'm going by just movie, memory here, and I can't remember shit these days. Yeah, I can't think of it. I honestly am drawing a complete blank as far as what hello is in Russian. And as soon as somebody says it, I'll go, oh, right, yeah. But right now, complete blank. I have no idea. You could pretty much tell me anything, and I'd believe you because I don't know. But then why would you lie to me? Why would you lie? Like, is there so much deception in your heart that you would have to lie to me just about a simple word as hello? Derek Luters, feet pics when? Feet pics when? You don't want to see... Come on, man. You don't want to see these feet. My feet look like hobbit feet. I've got like a hair running along the tops and on the top of my toes. If you look at Frodo's feet in Lord of the Rings, you see him running around. That's my feet. I'm like practically hairless everywhere else. Okay? I know we're divulging a lot of information today. I know. But Like there's like, see my arms? Like, see how like, look how the light is like, you see, there's like no hair. Yeah, all over, no hair. But the feet, full on Hobbit. It's like gravity pulled all the hair right to the feet. And so my feet are just, they look, you ever see like them old bear slippers? You know, the ones that had like the little fake little bear claws coming out the toes? That's what my feet look like. So if you've never seen my feet, that's what my feet look like. Everything else, yeah, smooth. Till you get to the feet, and then the feet just, it's like somebody took, you know, like you take a tube of toothpaste and you roll up the end and then it all kind of squirts. Well, it's kind of like the opposite effect. So it's like all the hair was squeezed all the way to my feet, and my feet are bursting with hair. Ah, that's a visual, isn't it? Oh, shit. Fire Drake 18. Defined. A mother color is a color you use in every mixed color in a particular painting. It can be any color, but should be a color that reflects the overall theme of the painting. Yeah, no. I don't recall that. It's not a particular exercise that I ever recall going through. But like I said, I mean, white or black, sure, you can consider it a mother color. Now, technically, in painting, we don't refer to white or black as a color, really, right? Because white, in all respects, is all color, and black is the absence of color, right? And so when we shade, we are shading the color downwards with black, and when we're tinting or highlighting, we are adding white to the color, right? And that's across all colors. So white and black, if they are defined as colors, then those would always be mother colors, right? Because it's just very common, especially for miniature painting. Now, for example, yes, I mean, you could refer to, say, a color like a bone color, right? Like Ushabti bone, and consider that a mother color, because you could add that color to every color you highlight with. So you could add the blues, you could add the reds, purples, yellows, whatever you want. You could and have a unified appearance across the entirety of the model. Sure. But yeah, I mean, the concept of mother color, though, I mean, if it helps you to define, sure. As most miniature painters, I don't really think it adds a lot to your knowledge base, other than knowing that it exists. Sure. I mean, like, I've gotten this far, and honestly, no. I mean, unless of course I missed that day in class, but yeah, no. That honestly has never come out in any of my painting, in all my years of painting. Like, I'm talking canvas work, not miniature painting. I'm talking proper painting. No, it's never come up. I shouldn't say never. It might have, and I just wasn't paying attention. But yeah, I don't recall. Fire Jerk 18. You can also use mother color as a glaze rather than physically mixing it with another color. Sure. But you still, the only way you would refer to it in that regards, though, is if you're taking, say, for example, a clear blue, and you were throwing it on top of reds, you were throwing it on top of whites, you know what I mean? Like, you were just finishing the entire model in that one color. Then yes, you could refer to it as a mother color. But how does that help you in your process? Right? And how often are we, as miniature painters, how often are we doing that sort of thing? Where we have, one unifying glaze other than a clear on top of the entirety of the model, so that it shifts all values with that one color, right? How often do we do that? I honestly, I can't think of an instance where we do that on a model. I'm trying to think of an instance where you do that on a model, where you would spray the entirety of them or coat the entire model in one color to shift all values. I mean, I suppose a color like Agrax Earthshade, you could, right? Because I've seen that plenty of times where, the model is like, you get it for a lot of like, really, really fast kind of paint jobs where, it's red and it's white and there's a bit of silver and there's some, black and stuff like that, right? And you just base coat the entire model and then you hit the entirety of it in Agrax Earthshade, which is essentially like a really dark sepia color, right? And it changes the values of all of the colors as one. So yes, I guess that would be the one instance where you would want a mother color applied to the entirety. But referring it to such, it's not a common expression to use or common term to use within this community, that throwing it out there may confuse people. And because, again, the concept does not really get used that often. Like, other than the two instances I described, where else would we need this type of vernacular to describe what we're doing? Right? And it only serves to confuse people, I think. Again, most of the time with miniature painting, it is paint by numbers. So, break it down as easily as possible so people can follow along, right? Like, whenever you watch, I watch a lot of Bob Ross. And Bob Ross, on his palette, is the same colors every time. So if you're going to sit down and watch Bob Ross, and you have the colors, you're good to go on whatever project you're doing. It does not matter. Why? Because the painting isn't about the colors. It's not about all this terminology. It's about expression. It's taking those materials and express. The only time you really need to know any of these terms properly is when you are instructing people. That's the only time. If you have no goals for, teaching others, then, knowing a lot of terms, jargon, it's not necessary. I mean, is it going to hurt you? No. Is it going to make you a better painter? Not necessarily, But, yeah. I mean, it helps you identify stuff, but not really a big thing. Slapdash Minis. There he is, you rambling SOB. I miss your face. Well, here it is. Lots of it. Take a screenshot. Make it your wallpaper. In fact, take a selfie with me as large as you can in your background. Here, like this. Or like this. There we go. Now, take a selfie with that and send it to me. Because otherwise, I will then know you don't really love me. Dr. Xantos. Trusvitsa? That's what I've been taught. As a hello, Trusvitsa. Yeah, I can't. And I mean, it's been a while since Vasily answered me. Oh, wait, no, there, he's got the answer. Okay. Fire Trick 18. I heard about this last night. The example was a diorama where he mixed one color and added a little to each character. The example didn't really show mixing to my liking. Yeah, sometimes people out there want to just show how big brain they are. And so start throwing a bunch of jargon at you. And they don't even truly understand it themselves. Again, like I said, I can't, it's not a term that I've ever used. And it was not a term that I was ever taught. At least, unless, of course, I missed that day when we were, talking about this concept. Again, I mean, I'm trying to think of, like I said, other than the two times that the two examples I can think of off the top of my head, I really don't know why or where you would want to refer to that, other than knowing that term to explain to somebody, so that if somebody else wanted to replicate it, and I mean, their lesson was on doing that kind of thing where they were, we're painting the hat red, going with the pants white, black, metals, okay, and then we hit the entire thing in one color. We're gonna call it the mother color, and it brings all the values down, right? It's like, again, other than why would you do that instead of just calling it just a shade? We're just going to throw an entire shade wash over the, you know what I mean? Because shade wash is a term we use all the time for various steps and various descriptions of things we do in miniature painting. Now, all of you who are miniature painters and artists, like who work on canvas and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know how many of you have used that term. I mean, honestly, I mean, I've been making art like as far back as I can remember, since I was a child. Never once did the concept of, that's the mother color, and that's you know what I mean? Other than maybe an exercise. But again, I may have missed that day when we were talking about that stuff, because there might have been an exercise where, we take a particular color and add it to all the colors to change the values around, but otherwise it's a unifying color across the it's kind of like, it's like Picasso's blue period, when blue was all the colors, but he had various tones into things, but they were all playing with blue. But I'm not sure if he was adding blue to those colors, because I don't think so, because he has very vibrant colors elsewhere. Again, I'm trying to think of where this would have come up. And I mean, other than somebody heard it somewhere and wanted to prove they're big brained. Anyway, Vasily, Privyet is informal, like hi, something you say to a friend or whatever. Oh man, I'm not even gonna try that one. Zdravstvuyte is formal. It's something like be healthy or be well. Yeah, I'd have to hear that. You know what? I'm gonna hear it right now. I'm gonna put that into the Google's translates. Google, translate this. Where the fuck is translate? Oh, there it is. All these stupid icons all over the place here. Okay, boom. Auto detect. It says Russian, right? Hello. Okay, hello.
Здравствует.
Oh, what?
Здравствует.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that one. I mean, not that I hear a lot of Russian, but...
Здравствует.
Hold on.
Здравствует. Hello. Здравствует. Hello.
How come that voice sounds so different? It doesn't sound like the same kind of voice. And in fact, the way Google's saying hello, that sounds kind of snarky.
Hello.
Can Google Translate be snarky?
Здравствует. Hello.
What the fuck?
Здравствует. Hello.
Hello. That's what it sounds like. Hello. Holy shit. All right, where the hell are we? Brandon Taylor. Hey, Brandon Taylor. You're a mother color. Yeah, I'm a mother. I am a mother color. Mother color. Reziel. Yeah, I always get looks with my Russian family if I use... Yeah, okay, wait. Or now that is that the correct way of saying Das Vidanya? Is that how you say it? Google Translate didn't auto detect it. Or Uzbek. Okay. Oh, voice output isn't for Uzbek. Okay, Google Translate doesn't like Uzbek. Apparently, the way you spelled it, Rez. Anyway, yeah. Dr. Zanza, so what have people been working on? Yeah, what happened? Holy Christ, we're already half hour into this, and yeah, we haven't talked about what anybody's working on. Tried to paint a skeleton horde, start collecting blocks, but got bored with it right before the big boyo. The big boyo? The big boyo? I don't know. But what is everybody working on? Dr. Xantos, haven't painted properly in months. Feel like I've lost the touch. Nah, it's like riding a bike. Once you get back into it, you just get right back into it. You guys gotta sit down and, get back into it. Derek Luterus, on the mother color thing, if you wanted to do this blue, wouldn't you just choose painted that are already mixed with blue in different levels? Yeah, like I said, like I'm kind of curious. I'll definitely look more into to maybe even go back into some of my old textbooks. Like maybe mother color was something that was explained, and I actually did miss that day, I suppose. I mean, I did goof off a lot in college. I know some of you are probably like really shocked, but but yeah. Rezio. Vince Ventrella talks about mother colors when interviewing other artists or on some series. Painters like Kirill Kenev are cited as using the concept. Sure. I mean, wherever they learned. And I mean, like by the brief description as it was described to me, that's what it sounds like. I mean, unless, of course, I'm misinterpreting what this concept is. But again, it's not something that's in my repertoire. As far as as far like how it was described to me, I don't see, how you would really need to know that, other than if you were trying to explain. Now, from what I understand, Vince, I'm not familiar with Kirill, or I don't know how you say the name. Now, I know Vince does classes and stuff like that, so knowing a concept like that, is beneficial. Because that way he can explain a concept, especially for some people who, otherwise might not be able to grasp what exactly the steps are. But, I mean, as far as miniature painting is concerned, it's not rocket science. And so anytime anybody wants to add any kind of complexity to this stuff, they're doing it to service their own ego. Because it makes them feel superior, right? Versus just explaining it in a straightforward fashion. Kind of like, I hate using the example, but it's kind of like Bob Ross. Bob Ross breaks the process down really, really simply. All you need to do is this. Just take this color, mix a little bit of this, bang, and you move it onto canvas, and it gives you this type of effect. Bang, right? When you get in your car and go driving, do you really need to know how that engine was made? Do you need to know how much, pressure is at the top of each cylinder before the spark plug ignites the fuel and pushes the piston down? Do you need to know all that to drive your car, to go places, to see things, to experience things? Do you need it? No. You just want to get to where you want to go, right? Well, that's the same thing with painting. Do you really need to know all these things if all your goal is to get your army painted? Does it help? Sure. You break down whatever, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you can draw your parallels whichever way you want to go. My point being is that a lot of these other kind of concepts, especially if if they're dated concepts, like they're not things that we use anymore. Oi, George, thank you, subscribing. Here, like I'm holding it. It's like a candy bar. Oh, fuck, it's gone. It disappeared before I could do this. Hold on. Oh, no, wait. Let's go back. Can we go back? There we go.
Здравствуй. Hello.
Hello. That fucking voice. Hello. Anyway. Slapdash Minis. I have a Talisman board game set up on my desk that I should work on more than I am. I came to Way of the Brush for inspiration and Monkey Jabber. Monkey Jabber. Rezio. Ben Cantor is a good example of a competition painter that uses mother color as well, I'd say. Sure. I don't read, is that Japanese? Is that, you know, I got the Google Translate out still. I'm going to type this in because this could have been somebody throwing all sorts of shade my way. I'm afraid I don't read. Holy shit. Oh, okay. That's nice.
はじめまして、いつも見てます。
Ah, it's Japanese. Nice. It's nice to meet you. Always looking at you. Awesome. That's. Let me hear it again.
はじめまして、いつも見てます。
That's fun. Yeah. I'd love to learn Japanese. Just because, you know, when you're watching anime, it's kind of nice to just, you know, like, for anybody who watches animes, do you listen to the dubbed version, or do you just go with closed captioning? It's usually, yeah, it's closed captioning. I don't usually go in for the dubs. The dubs. Oh, you know what though? Speaking of like competition painting, Cult of Paint they just put out a thing on their Instagram. Cult of Paint. It's Henry Steele and Andy Wardle. I think Cult of Paint is just the two of them. But anyway, they're doing a painting competition. So anybody who's into painting competition, I posted it also on Discord. I shared the link on Discord. But yeah, anybody who's into painting competitions and you know you feel it necessary to prove your painting mettle, it's competition. It's like the deadline is like in April, early April, and I think the award ceremony is like May, something like that. I can't remember. I skimmed through it pretty fast. But yay, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you guys because I know there's probably some of you out there who you know, who want to do competition type painting, and so there, yeah, I threw that out there. So enter. Henry and Andy, both good dudes, and yeah. Anywho, Raziel, the concept of terminology like mothercolor just make conversations about art easier to have, but obviously in mini painting, it's super esoteric idea. Yeah, it's, again, anybody who's really interested in talking about painting, and you know what I mean, like when, I suppose, yes, like when two artists are talking, and if they're using the same, you know, vernacular, then it helps the conversation because they both know what they're talking about, right? But for most wargamers who just want to get their models painted, knowing a term like that, honestly, I don't think really helps you. So, you know, it's a fun exercise. I mean, you know, just to expand your knowledge of how color, you know, performs on a model and mixes and how we view it, and you know what I mean, as an exercise, sure, by all means, give it a shot, play with it. You know, there's many common you know terminologies that are used and as an exercise because they're often drawn from you know art school lessons, right? Like working within monochromatic, right? Like even the term monochromatic, I mean, like, yeah, you can kind of figure it out if you know your languages, I suppose, but you know, it's a term that gets thrown around. Does it really, you know, help you? Like, how many miniatures, how many armies are painted monochromatic? Not a lot. I can think of how many people have actually painted their entire army in one color. Not a lot. So it's good to know, right? Especially when talking with somebody who's, yeah, you know, or the piece, it's a monochromatic. It's a play within, you know, blue scale, gray scale, you know, whatever, reptile scales. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever, you know. So, yeah, using a term like mother color, no, it's never come up for me. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention, or I missed that lesson. But, yeah. Vasily, it sounded weird. It did sound weird, didn't it? Slapdash. I went to my selfie on my phone and sub to OnlyFans. Hairy feet. Okay, here it is in Russian. Try this. Okay, I'm going to try this. All right. And it says Russian detected.
Привет.
Привет. Hello. Okay.
Привет.
Привет. It's kind of nice, yeah. Hello. Hi.
Привет.
Привет. Yeah. Because you never know. I might wind up one day, walking the streets of Russia. And, I mean, I don't want to be, going around calling people bendejo or something like that, right?
Здравствуйте.
Hello. Yeah. So what is it?
Здравствуйте.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt that. Yeah, I'm not doing that. No. But.
Hello.
Hello. How many people are going to be talking like that today? Hello. Vasily, I haven't really painted anything in 2 or 3 years. Really? Wow. Dude. Bayushi242. Hi, Kris and Chad. Hi. Rezio, I think mother color is a pretty sweet concept, not elitist or fake elitist. Elitist or fake elitist? What? Although I'm sure some people use it to fake big brain. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, like I've been making art since I was a kid. Took it in school, went to college for it. And again, I mean, if I missed the class on where we were talking about mother color, we covered it in one class and it wasn't on my final exams. So is it really an important concept? Right? And I'm pretty sure it's not vital to you becoming a better miniature painter. If you were going to move on to canvas work and stuff like that, well then sure, you might want to know a concept like that. But I mean, it sounds more of an exercise than a standard mode of operation for painting a miniature, right? I mean, every time you sit down to paint your unit of Blood Angels, are you going to need to know the concept mother color? Is it going to apply to that? If your answer is a yes, well then you got to send me pictures of what the fuck you're doing, because I don't think so. Peter Magro. Good evening, Kris. Good evening. Good evening. Ghost of Starman. I usually watch anime sub, but it depends on what I'm watching, to be honest. And with the volume up or down, right? My daughter watches a lot of anime. Not a lot. She watches anime. And somehow I got on the topic of, does this have tentacles in it? And she's like, rolls her eyes and is like, Dad, the tentacle thing is like not that common in anime. And I was like, oh. I was disappointed at that point. I was, oh. What a chip. Fire Tree 18. I do both. You do both, eh? Generally, I'll stick to how I originally started watching the series. I think some series can't be dubbed like, I don't know, Monogatari series. It has a flow I don't think can be duplicated and keep the meaning. Yeah. Which is why, I want to, pick up Japanese. Because, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. It would be fun, Resi, episode 336, computers say hi. Hello. Bayushi, episode 336, Mother Color says hi. Yeah, let's go with that one. Mother Color says hi. Says hi. Motherfucker. Mother Color says hi. Yeah, I mean, like, again, I'll dig deeper into it, as far as, like, familiarizing myself with it. But I mean, as far as being something that I feel like, oh, this is something that, everybody's going to benefit from, I have reservations about that. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be something that everybody needs to know. But I've been painting for 30 years, miniatures. And not once have I ever heard that reference. Today, like you just dropped a fresh thing on me today. I've been in this 30 years, and you telling me that like I've been out of that loop? That's possible.
Hello.
Hello. Oh shit. That's just too good. I kind of want to type in other shit now. Reziel, speaking of Blood Angels, that's mostly what I'm working on. Getting customized land speeder near to paint at the moment, and painting a plaster statue as well. LOL. Cool. Yeah. Like an actual plaster statue? You gotta send pics, man. Send pics. Send pics. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Always have the volume on max. It's a power move. With all your flatmates, yeah? It's like... just imagining some of the more far out there enemies and having that cranked max. Yeah. And honestly, whenever you hear like the dialogue, especially if it's not dubbed, and you have the dialogue going at any volume, immediately people assume you're watching tentacle stuff. Immediately, as soon as I hear, somebody like where was that? Where is the Japanese text? Here, we'll put the Japanese text back in. Especially, like
はじめまして、いつも見てます。
it sounds really nice, right? But you hear that and you think, oh fuck, what fucking weird shit is he watching? Especially if you don't know Japanese, right?
はじめまして、いつも見てます。
Nice to meet you. Always looking at you.
Why does the you sound kind of you? Listen.
Nice to meet you. Always looking at you.
はじめまして、いつも見てます。
We're all going to know a little bit of Japanese by the end of the day, I think. Rezia, I'm one of those heathen anime fans that prefer dub. Oh, really? Yeah, you prefer the dub? Oh, see, I don't like the dub. I don't know. I mean, even though I don't speak Japanese, yeah. I don't know, something about the intensity in the voice in the original, I'm sure the people who dub the voice in, I'm sure, following the same inflection and trying to capture the same meaning, right? But I don't know. It just sounds better coming out in its, in its natural Japanese, whatever that is. Vasily, my phone is dying, so I gotta go. Bye, Kris and everyone. Supposed to do like trailing off. Bye. Anyway, Rezio, I think mothercolor will mostly be something the big competition painters would use. Basically, no one else. Yeah. I mean, I've entered competitions. I've never heard anybody talk about that. Fire trick team. That what a fire trick does. He pushes knowledge. Does he? You push it? In what direction? Like, do you push it away from you, or do you push it towards you? I guess I don't know. Anyway, or you're pushing it like a drug dealer pushes drugs, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's what you're saying, right? You push it like you're pushing drugs. Got you. You're going to end up on a watch list. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Oh, I heard worse from my flatmates. Like what? I'll wait. I want the gory details. Like the gory details. Sonic Boom! Whenever I see that, like, Sonic Boom, I always think of Street Fighter. Guile. Sonic Boom! Anyway, I stumbled across some Japanese tentacle porn once, didn't sleep for weeks, and not been to a sushi bar since. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, the tentacle stuff is just, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm always looking at it like what is the metaphor for this, right? Because oftentimes that often will help you interpret what you are experiencing, right? Is if you can draw a slightly deeper meaning from the viewing experience, right? If you can look at the mother color, as it will. So anyway, yeah. You know, and tentacle stuff, I mean, you know, hey, there's all sorts of weird ass shit out there. I mean, you know, if you're into the tentacle stuff, you know, carry on. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Unless, of course, you grew tentacles, which you most likely would. And then you started forcing yourself on people with those tentacles. That's a little dangerous. So I wouldn't recommend it. Fire Drake Dean, I guess I should say Pusha T doesn't push drugs. He only offers. Jesus. Good God. Goes to Starman. There are worse things on the internet than Japanese tentacle porn, unfortunately. Yes, I, you know, without getting specific, yes, I agree. Watching some animated character, you know, getting penetrated by tentacles is really not the biggest concern in the world. It's out there, but it's not the biggest. Old Man Logan. So I was going over my father colors the other day. Oh, father colors. Oh, we're switching it around now. We're going with father colors. All right, father. Yeah, why not? I mean, it could just as easily be called father colors, unless, of course, father colors is a concept. Is mother and father concepts? I have no idea. Goes to Starman Deluxe. By the way, if I recall, the reason tentacle porn became so prevalent in Japan is due to censorship laws imposed by the U.S. after World War II. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why it became a thing. You know, yeah. And I mean, like, that's an example of, you know, silly laws put in place, and then the natural inclination for people to skirt those rules and push at those rules. Invariably, right? All social like laws and norms, there always will be groups pushing at those boundaries, skirting those boundaries, moving around them, and you know what I mean? Like, humans are always going to do that sort of thing. So any crazy ass law we think we can make, yeah, there's always going to be elements that are always going to just bust past them. Always. You know, anytime you put a rule in place, people are going to skirt past it. Right? So, you know, it's all really, when you start to view things in that kind of perspective, you know, just let people be. Don't force your rules on somebody else, because they're going to just go their own way, right? People just want to be free to make whatever choices they want to make. As long as it doesn't negatively impact others, you know, what's the harm, right? Dr. Zantos, there's been tentacle porn in Japan since 1800s. Really? It's tentacle porn is that old? Really? Well, you're gonna have to share me a link to some 1800s tentacle porn. Oh God, now we're sharing tentacle porn. I'm getting a fucking headache now. Old Man Logan, no idea. Just figured it would confuse things even further. Child colors, grandmother colors. Anyone? Grandmother colors. That almost has a nice flow to it. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. I kind of like that. That has a flow to it. Grandmother colors. Yo, grandmother colors. Yeah. Let's see what Google thinks of that one. Grandmother color. Where's the text? There it is. Grandmother colors. How are you doing, grandmother colors? Grandmother colors.
Grandmother colors.
Oh, there we go.
Grandmother colors.
Oh, she said it slower that time.
Grandmother colors.
Oops.
Grandmother colors.
Yeah, she said it slower. Is it me, or does it sound like she says it slower the second time? That's got to be me. It's a computer. It's got to be saying it exactly the same every time, right? I'm just hearing it different. Does that make sense?
Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors.
Am I crazy? Does she say it differently the second time? Oh, I'm scared. I think fucking Google's watching me now. They're watching me now. They're definitely watching me. But I kind of like how that sounds. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. Because you can have mother colors, right? Apparently. So why couldn't you have grandmother colors? Colors that were in play even before the colors that you used. That's some wrinkly brain plays for you there. That's a fucking concept. Not just mother colors on a model. Unifying across a theme. No, but the grandmother colors, the colors that were in play even before you even interpreted the mother colors, the grandmother colors were that sub-level, that deep in the DNA type of fucking idiots. Oh, fuck. That's so stupid. Anyway, Dr. Santos, Google the dream of fisherman's wife. No, I'm not Googling that. You can send me a link, or maybe I'll Google later. Or okay, send me a note to Google that later. I'm not going to Google that now because I'll get taken to I'll be whisked off to some other crazy ass site. Rezio, anyone here interested at all in anime, manga, and hentai as well as Japan and YouTube should check out Trash Taste on YouTube. Pretty awesome in my opinion. Okay, well, there you go. There, you heard it from Reziel. And Reziel has a pretty deep tentacle fetish going on, so, you can pretty much take his word on anything hentai. Old Man Logan, oh Lord, what have we started? Grandmother colors. I like the way that sounds. Oh, thanks. Dr. Santos sent me the link. Grandmother colors. I like that. I just like how that sounds. That sounds good. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. I might be losing it. I don't know. Anyway. Rezio, wouldn't grandmother colors just be shades between black and white? I don't know. Would they? I was making a joke, but now, yeah. You might be busting out some wrinkly brain plays here now. Goes to Starman Deluxe. Been trying out some second cousin once removed colors. Shit. Yeah, some second cousin once removed colors. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Some second cousin colors. Right. Like, it's not quite. You start off with a green all over the place, and you have this off green. It's not quite a green. It's kind of, it's your second cousin once removed. So it's your first cousin. Fire Drake, Kris is off his meds. No, I'm out of coffee is what it is. I need coffee. Hold on, I'm going to message my daughter. See if she can do me a solid. Coffee, please? Please? Please. Come get my mug. Please. I always gotta have lots of pleases in there. Because otherwise she'll just crucify me. Rezia, I don't hate tentacles. Well, I know. You obviously are, you're obviously a connoisseur. So, yeah, that's fine. No judgment here, bud. No judgment here. Meanwhile, holy shit. Fire Drake, I do love me some anime. Yeah. Who doesn't? I mean, anime's fun. But yeah. Derek Luder is beware mother color hole. Mother color hole. Ghost of Starman. Grandmother colors would probably be some shade of beige. Well, I mean, talk about your grandma in whatever fashion you want. I would assume mother color being a unifying color over across an entire project, that a grandmother color would be that layer of color before that unified, and then the mother came in and, you know, really unified, and the grandmother already, she basically was laying the groundwork. The grandmother colors are the colors that lay down that groundwork for the mother to come in and, you know, take care of business, right? That would be the concept. And the father color, if you know, if we're equating it to mothers and fathers and grandmothers and, you know, cousins, the father color would be off on the side, you know, not really paying attention, or the father colors are out at their jobs while the mother colors, they're taking care of all the colors, right? Is that a kind of antiquated kind of concept? Why can't the mother go out and work? Why does it got to be mother's colors? I don't know. It is kind of sexist, isn't it? To take on this kind of concept that it's the mother, because it's, you know, like a family of colors, right? And the mother comes in and you know, takes care of all the colors, unifies all the colors into one cohesive family, right? What's the father color doing? Well, he's out at the factory. He's, you know, punching the clock, you know, taking care, earning that cheddar so the family will eat. What's the grandmother color doing? I don't know. Old man, don't force your colored gender roles on me. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. You know, the fucking colored gender roles. Derek Luda's step color. What are you doing? Jesus. No fucks given. I have a really hot color-in-law. Resi, I prefer orcs to tentacles if I'm honest. Huh? Huh? Lord, anybody remembers those games? Fire Drink 18. Really, Raziel? I would prefer tentacles to orcs. Yeah, I mean, like, at least tentacles, you know, like kind of like an octopus tentacle, it can kind of change shape and, you know what I mean, conform and, you know what I mean? Whereas an orc, I mean, you know, there's nothing gentle about orcs from what we know, right? I mean, you just picture this big ham fist. You know. I mean, you know, like if somebody's going to force themselves on you, I think I'd prefer a tentacle. The gentle caress of a tentacle as opposed to an orc's big meat hook of a hand. Just saying. Right? Where the fingers are like, you know, in a fist. Get destroyed. You'd get destroyed. Tentacle. You know, like, you know, the tentacles, I mean, like, ever see an octopus go through, like, a bottle or, like, those little tubes? You know? Like, where it's like, he's great big thing, and then he can go in and just fit himself through a little space. So, you know, yeah, tentacle wouldn't be bad, because he's gonna conform to the space, right? He's gonna have a good grip. But he's not going to tear you up. Well, he might, but where's an orc? Orc going to tear you up. Going to tear you right up. And not be gentle about it either.
Wanted to finish a dude today for you, but real life got in the way. But I am loving painting him at least. Anyway, ugliest color combo for you.
Ugliest color combo for me? Oh, did you send an email? Is that what you did? Oh yeah, you must have. I think you did. What time are we at here? Holy camolies, we're already 5 minutes after 1. Jeez Louise. Thank you, Killer Whale, for the super chat. Awesome. Yeah, finishing a dude today, but real life got in the way. Well, you know, that happens, man. It happens. Loving painting them. At least ugliest color combo. Anyway, ugliest color combo? Ugly, like, as far as, like, a color? You know, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of No, I can't say that because sometimes it does really work really well for conveying ideas. But there are some colors that just do not look very good next to each other. But with that particular value can look really great next to another one. There are some, they're more, tertiary type colors sitting next to them. I mean, like, if you're looking at primary and secondaries, I mean, putting any complementary colors next to each other, I think they look fine. A lot of people don't like that, like a red and green. It's too Christmassy. Well, if they're the same value, yes, it has a very Christmassy kind of vibe, right? Orange blue, looks really good. Kind of anybody in Denver Broncos kind of thing, right? It's kind of similar values. Well, actually, the blue's kind of darker. But anyway, and purple yellow. Well, purple yellow looks really great next to each other. It's not a very common thing to see. And in fact, if you shift colors away from the primary or secondary values, they can actually look really great next to each other. Like I say, for example, a strong bold primary yellow next to purple that's shifted towards magenta, right? More red values added into the purple, and you get something that looks really, really fantastic, right? Same with like blue orange. You have this the strong blue, and you shift the orange towards more the yellow side, then it starts to look a little bit more interesting, right? And so ugliest color combos, it is kind of a tough one, because just taking arbitrary color swatches and putting them next to each other, and you're gonna go, it's not my cup of tea. But the thing is somebody right beside you could go, yeah, I really like that color combination, right? So it's like everything art. It is largely subjective, right? And it's interpretive, so like ugliest color combination, I don't know. Usually you get into any kind of the pale kind of greens, tends to get branded an ugly color. Now I'm not talking like, say, like army green or anything like that. I'm talking like a little bit more desaturated than that. But I mean, you throw that next to a light red, and you got something, or even a dark red. Again, it's within the theme, and getting into the idea of ugly color combinations. It's really more about your own personal preference versus, right? Because taking ugly colors, or whatever is perceived as ugly colors, putting that into a unified theme for a composition, to convey your sense of disgust, because let's say, for example, there are certain color combinations that invoke a particular response, like say, for example, like puke greens and, really, off browns with, like all these other kind of muddier type of colors that, very earthy, like, you know what I mean? And you put those into a composition and you made it like, a Nurgle composition. Well, then it's perfect. And everybody's going to go, that's perfect. Why? Because the colors you used. Are they ugly colors? No, because everybody was going, wow, that was fantastic. So, again, it's largely subjective. Killer whale tentacles are tasty when breaded and deep fried. I concur. They are mushrooms, though. Oh, orcs? Yeah, orcs are mushrooms. So if you were to eat an orc, do you think, like on battlefields where they're fighting orcs and stuff, they can just chop up the orcs and, shiitake mushrooms, Why not? You never hear stories like that, right? Where they eat the orcs? Because if they're just a fungus, you can eat them, right? You can grind them up. I'm surprised that there aren't, stories of humans, cultivating large amounts of orcs just to, feed them to the masses, right? Like, why wouldn't humans just start consuming all these aliens if they're like orcs, who are just plant matter, apparently? Humans survive off plant matter, so why not just grind up a bunch of orcs and start eating them? Make orc farms. Free range. And then there'd be humans protesting. No, free the orcs. Don't have them in cages. You know, these are unhumane conditions. And, you know, the fucking orcs are in cages and they're all fat and bloated. Big sad orcs. And then everybody feels bad for orcs. Oh, fuck these fucking stupid concepts. Oh, shit. Fire Drinking. I would say blue and brown, but then I like the desert connecting to the blue sky. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right? You can't just arbitrarily pick two colors and say, oh, they're ugly next to each other, because I'm sure you do a tiny amount of digging and you'll see that it's already been used and to great effect. So, yeah. Killer Whale. Orange and white for me. Orange and white? That's a really great combo. Almost any color other than white looks great next to white, right? So orange and white, I think, like, immediately I think of like a majority of white with orange elements. You know, and that for me, I immediately think of something like from Infinity, you know, that kind of anime style. And yeah, I think of something like that immediately. You mentioned orange and white as a color scheme. Yeah. Now, are we talking predominantly orange and a little bit of white? Then yeah, I could see like a Space Marine who is predominantly orange with, you know, white elements, right? White shoulder trim, white icons. The bolt gun is got a white casing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, either way, or it's predominantly white, where a majority of it, and there's like, you know, orange shoulder pads, or there's orange stripes and chevrons, and you know what I mean? Like, again, I mean, you can take any colors and just start playing with them. You can shift the values of them in any direction you want, and, you know, yeah. But that's half the fun, man. That's half the fun. Where the hell am I on this? Reziel. Red and yellow often bother me. Makes me think of ketchup and mustard, but somehow in a bad way. Ooh, that's some deep-seated stuff there. But also, when I add yellow to my Blood Angels, I seem to like it. Odd. Yeah. Well, again, the biggest concept that is and isn't difficult to teach is the balance of color. Okay, never mind your mother colors, your primary colors, or, you know, any other the gibbly-gook. Balancing the colors. You ever see any of them old paintings? They're abstracts. They're just solid swatches of color, but into greater proportions. Like, it'd be like a large, you know, yellow square, and then a little red square with a couple black lines and some big white elements. You know what I mean? Those are exercises in balance of color. And if you found them striking, even just to look at for a moment, even though, you know, you're like, okay, great, this is worth $5 million and it's just a bunch of color on a canvas, relax. But the painting itself is an exercise in balance of color. So, like, as I was describing the white and orange scenario, again, I gave two examples of how the colors balance, even though I wasn't even thinking about, you know, how those colors would play out next to each other. I was just thinking of how they balance, because I was describing one being in greater amounts than the other. Now, why? Well, because one, typically, lighter colors tend to give the impression of high of an elevation. I'm trying to think of what the hell the concept is, and the name is escaping me. Darker colors tend to have more gravity. Lighter colors, less. Lighter colors tend to be brighter, more louder in our face, versus the darker colors. Darkers are more subdued, right? So, when I was describing the orange-white concepts, okay, the white, very, very loud, has to be held in place by darker orange elements, adding weight to the concept, versus the orange, which already has a lot of gravity, and the white brings it back up a bit, right? And it's kind of like, if you think of color, like on a color scale, you're always looking to find the mid-range, something that has got lots of bright colors, good shadows, and you find that there's a balance in there. A concept in photography is a good photo, especially black and white photos. A good photo has really bright whites in it and really dark black in it. And so if you've ever seen any famous black and white photos, a majority of them, not all, because in art, rules aren't, it's good to know the rules so that you know when to break them. Okay, so that's the only reason art has rules, is so that you know when to break them. Okay, so art's rule, like the rules for art, painting and stuff like that, you only need to know this shit so that you know when to break it, because you break this shit all the time. So, for example, like knowing a concept like mother color or grandmother color. I like the way that flows. Grandmother color. Anyway, the only reason to know that, where it's good to know that, is to know when to break it, right? And it's, again, with primary colors and secondary, using complementary colors. These are good rules to know, but you also need to know when to break them, because they get broken all the time in art. Right? And when I was talking about, people skirting the rules, right? Like tentacles in stuff. Tentacles, it was just people skirting the rules, right? Same kind of thing. You got to know the rules so you can break the rules. Art's all about breaking the rules. So anyway, photographs. Yeah. You look at some really fancy, famous classic examples of great photographs. Yeah, you'll see they have really bright whites in them and really dark blacks in them, and then everything in between. Yeah. Anyway. Talking about orcs and dipping sauce. Orcs are vegan. Are they? I don't know. I mean, if everything the orcs is spores, which makes them more like a fungus, then yeah, I guess, because orcs, I assume, always eat squigs, right? Because orcs eat squigs, and squigs are pretty much the same thing as orcs, aren't they? Just different variation. Anyway, yeah. Oh man, Bayushi, Soylent orc. Yeah, just grinding up the orcs. Killer whale, pork. I see what you did there. Pork. Anthony B. Hey, shotgun beers. I don't have a beer. I need a coffee. I asked my daughter for a coffee, and she, you know what? Let's call her. Let's see if we can embarrass her. I'm gonna call her. If I can use my fucking phone properly. There we go. Let's put her on speaker. Speaker? No, speaker. Is it coming up on my computer? No. Can you come down and grab my mug and give me the last bit of coffee? Please?
Okay.
Please?
Okay.
Pretty please.
Okay.
Pretty please.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, now she hung up on me. Fucking kid. Damn kids. Have kids, they said. It'll be good, they said. Oh, man. Anyway. Anthony B. just picked up Flesh Eater Quartz Army, and I'm struggling to figure a paint scheme. Do you have any tips on gross necrotic flesh?
You want creamer?
Yeah, just a little splash. Just like a millimeter. Please.
Hey.
Killer Whale, Anthony B. Ricard flesh with the purple blue wash with Pallid Witch flesh. Yep, that's yeah. I don't know if I've done a tutorial recently on doing necrotic flesh. I don't recall. I may have done one recently. I know I've done them in the past, doing like undead flesh and stuff like that. But they're on another platform, so I don't know if you still have access to those platforms, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's something I could probably do. I don't know if I've done one on my channel, like in recent years. Might be time to do another one, I suppose. But yeah, that's probably the route I would go. Ricard flesh with some Drucci violet in like seams under the eyes, you know what I mean, the shadowy points. Blue wash, I might use a blue, I might use a green, all depending what kind of mood I was in. And then I would add Pallid Witch flesh to Ricard flesh, add highlights, bring it up. And if I felt that it needed any other kind of work, then I might come back to the Drucci Violet and add that in towards, shadowy points, making it like around the sores, if there's busted open skin. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. Was it still warm? Kind of?
Kind of.
Okay, thank you.
You want more than that?
No, that's good. Perfect. It's perfect, Boo. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Boo. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, if I can bust it around flesh areas and stuff like that, then I would throw just a little bit of purple around that. I really wouldn't bring it up to a red. Red is more indicative of healthier, fleshier type tones, right? So the blood's still flowing, versus going purple to almost black, right? Again, I've recommended this many times. I still recommend it. Research. Always, when you're looking to emulate color on something, do a bit of research, on what colors you see, you observe. Now, I'm talking, look at real world references, and then see what other painters have done. And usually everybody kind of does a very similar type of thing, right? Again, I mean, there's many ways you can go about it. I mean, you could start with a purple, add flesh, throw a little bit of green into your mixture as you brought the colors up. But that all depends upon what technique you're using. Like if you're using layering or blending or dry brushed or whatever, how many steps you want to go. If you're looking to create fine gradients, or if you're just looking to quickly get a tabletop, so you can have a whole, you got like a whole bunch of pocketwalkers that you want to get done. You got like 500 of them to do. You know what I mean? Like, again, don't have this mindset of one solution for many things. It often doesn't work like that. And in fact, the more refined your ability to problem solve and find a solution towards things, it is through greater knowledge and, of course, your own experience. And you can't teach experience. You can't teach experience. Experience has to come from you, which means that you have to paint. You have to keep painting. Keep painting. Because you can't teach experience. Where the hell am I? Fire Dricadine, LOL. Only someone who has been watching Kris for years can tell when he's getting that I need coffee look in his eyes. I know, I got up kind of late today, and so I was, I'm still actually kind of like, I feel like I need to clean the sleep out of my eyes still. And it's like, what time is it? It's like after 1 now. And yeah, and I'm usually not one for, putting my hands in my face, because, I'm already mostly a bit of a germaphobe. Not really, but, I am very conscious of, where my hands are. I'm not in the habit of my hands in my face all the time, even like just for comedic effect. I'm not in that habit, So, yeah. Derek Luterus. What kind were we thinking about? Of undead? Ghost Starman. Just pop dead bodies into Google. And what could go wrong? Dead bodies? Oh, like just type in dead bodies? Yeah. You know what? Just because we're having so much fun with this. Yeah, English detected. Let's listen to it in, Arabic. There we go. Dead bodies in Arabic. Okay, how does dead body sound by Google?
Dead bodies.
Boo.
Dead bodies.
Am I hearing it differently the second time? Like, am I crazy? I'm probably crazy, but...
Dead bodies.
Dead bodies.
Dead bodies.
Dead bodies. Right? The second time you click it, You hear it differently, right? Okay, Arabic.
جثث الموتى.
Oof. What?
جثث الموتى.
Something about Malta. Anyway.
جثث الموتى.
Huh. Okay, let's try... Ooh. Let's try Lithuanian. Just because it was right there. Dead bodies in Lithuanian. Go. Oh. No output for Lithuanian. Damn it. Okay. Let's try Welsh. Jeez.
Kilfmagu. Kilfmagu. Kilfmagu.
Okay, well, that's it in Welsh. Dead bodies in Welsh. Everybody who speaks Welsh, I'm sure, understood that right away. They're screaming at their screens right now going, Kris, this is how you fucking say it, man. Anyway. I don't know what the hell's going on. Sonic Boom! Got email from Element Games Store this morning saying only 8 Indominus box left, so had to pull the trigger. More shame for the pile. No, don't think of it as shame. Although it is. But think of it as more of an investment in your future downtime. Because in the future, you're going to have more downtime to get to this stuff. So it's an investment. I'm sorry. I was just hoping maybe just in case your old lady was in the room that, you can say, hey, I'm listening to this guy and he's giving me really sound advice about, getting my shit done. And when in fact, I'm sitting here talking about tentacle porn and and grandmother colors. I just like the way that sounds. Grandmother colors. I'm going to refer to it as grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. Grandmother colors. Word. Oh, fuck. Rezia, Kris, type in Korn lyrics, dead bodies everywhere. See if she sounds like the band. Oh, okay. Hold on. With an exclamation. Now, does Google say the exclamation? Oh, no, we got Welsh. Okay, let's hear it in Welsh first. Dead bodies everywhere. Ooh, what? That sounded like the Imperial probe droid from Empire Strikes Back. That's what that sounded like. Okay, dead bodies everywhere.
Dead bodies everywhere.
Nah, she doesn't sound too enthused.
Dead bodies everywhere.
She sounds like she's got a bit of a Shatner type thing going on. Dead bodies everywhere.
Dead bodies everywhere.
You know what? I now that I said that, I kind of want William Shatner to do some covers of like Korn songs and stuff. Hold on. Let me type in dead bodies everywhere lyrics. There we go. Okay. So William Shatner. Come on. Step inside. And when will you realize? To me, what you need. To me, what to be. What's your vision you'll see? What do you expect of me? I can't live that lie. Hate a sick mom with a fuck dad. Dealing with your life, bodies everywhere. Kind of busting into a bit of a walk in there. You really want me to be a good son. Why do you make me feel like no one? Yeah, I mean, with a bit more practice, we could probably expand upon that. Do a proper Shatner reading of, Dead Bodies Everywhere by Korn. Oh, shit. Anyway. Fire Drake 18. Second time you click the button, it sounds like it has attitude. That's right? Doesn't it sound like she's got attitude? Fucking Google. This Google bitch is fucking throwing shade at me.
Dead bodies everywhere.
Dead bodies everywhere. I'm Howard Cosell. Dead bodies everywhere.
Dead bodies everywhere.
Everywhere. It's like she just came home and she's pissed off at me. Maybe I'm projecting that. He's coming home. There's dead bodies everywhere. Clean this shit up.
Dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm projecting now. I'm getting yelled at. Oh shit. Oh man. Ghost of Starman. Just watched Empire the other day, and holy shit, you're right. Maybe the Imperial droids speak is just Welsh. I know it's like shit, damn. Well, I want to go back to the UK now because I want to go. I want to hear people speaking conversational Welsh now, and maybe it'll be just like Star Wars. Maybe it'll be like the cantina scene where you have a whole bunch of fucking people all over the place and everybody's speaking all sorts of different languages and shit. It's like, whoa! Actually, that one bar we went to, I went to with Dark Commission. It was like the oldest bar in England, I think. Nottingham? It was in Nottingham. It was the bar. What the fuck is it? The old pube? And, yeah. Something like that. And it was like there was like booths hewn into the rock. And the rock inside, like the bar was made into the rock. And the rock is smooth. It was a fun bar. Anyway. Dr. Zantos, email time? Yeah, why not? Rezio, Bones. They're dead, Jim. Dead bodies. Everywhere. They're dead, Jim. Doctor, not a fucking... I fucked that up. Anyway. Reziel, the velour fog. I've been watching so much Futurama lately. Holy shit. Oh, man. Zap Brannigan. I need a Zap Brannigan outfit. I need it. I need one. I actually asked my wife last night. I asked her, do I need to shave my legs if I get myself a Zap Brannigan outfit? Do I need to shave my legs? Georgian sounds more like a reading of a Dr. Seuss book. Dr. Seuss, yeah. Mikey RR, there's Klingons on the starboard bow. Starboard bow. Starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. The starboard bow, Jim. Oh, shit. Razio, it's like Coneheads. Narfly the Garth Knock. All right, you know what? No, before we do emails, let's jump over to the Instagram side of things. I don't have jingle music for this Instagram portion of the show, but for anybody out there who wants to, just share what they're working on, just use the hashtag Way of the Brush. And because I've been, trying to do this regular little segment where we take a look at the Instagram side of things and see what people are posting on the Instagram. Just for anybody out there who doesn't really feel like sending me an email, if you will not come to the mountain will come to you. What movie? What movie is that from? Well, that's not an exact quote, but anyway. Oh, that's not it. That was Google Translate. That's just too fun. I have no idea what that's saying. It sounds dangerous is what it sounds like. It's like if I heard that and I was in a bar room and I heard that sound, I'd be like, oh shit, shit's gonna get real here. I'm about to get fucked up. All right. First one is Porpula? Skeleton crew ready for skeleton business. Very cool. We got more pictures? Oh, we don't have more pictures? Oh. I love the color scheme. I kind of wish we had a little bit closer view of each one. Or did we? No, we didn't. Did we? Anyway. I like the quartering on the shield. I like the cloak on Buddy. Rust looks good. Bone, it's good contrast all over the models. Nice deep dark shadows. Nice bright bone. Bright bone. I like the leaves on the base. Little splash of color and other one. Well, actually, yeah. It's a little splash of color. It works nicely with the robes or the cloaks. Now, the guy with the big halberd, the staff, the shield, and the big long ass cloak. The guy who looks like he's probably the leader of the group. Is it teal on the back and red on the inside? Is that what's going on there? But yeah, I like it. I kind of wish we had some closer pictures. Darn. Boo earns. Here's a Edeptus Custodes from Evan Belleau. Work in progress. Post of my Sagittarium Guard. I've finished the gold base coat of black silver parts, highlighting and base to do. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's consistent with what we've seen previously from Avi, Dominus. Whenever I start butchering up like old Latin like that, I always sound like from Life of Brian, the centurion who's correcting Brian when he's putting a graffiti up on the wall. Anyway, that's what it always sounds like. Dominus Belly. Looks good. I like it. Me personally, and this is just personal. I'm about to get personal now with you, Ave. I would, like, if you're gonna go predominantly like metallic like this, I would go with a gloss prime, because it looks like you're laying it down by airbrush, or maybe you're using spray can. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Gloss prime, lay the metallic down. Use gloss shade washes to deepen up those shadows, go for those recesses, give you that non-metallic metal look on true metallics, because I can kind of see it going on in the wings and everything on the shoulder pads, and you know, the eagle details. And yeah, I would go with like gloss Reichland gloss Agrax and gloss Nuln to create those effects, and then give it a gloss varnish before moving on to other things. And in fact, going that route, especially with a matte black like you've got on, you know, some of the details and stuff like that, would be visually more striking, especially on the tabletop when you're actually under like lights of the room and everything like that. Yeah. Oh, I don't read this. Anybody who reads Japanese, this is Japanese. It says Japanese calligraphy, and it's the way of the brush. So, yeah. But anyway, this guy is, you know, using the hashtag way of the brush. I've mentioned that before, that yeah, there's other people using this to hashtag, and they're doing like, you know, calligraphy, or they're just doing painting and stuff like that. And so, you know, don't get freaked out. Oh wait, did I give Abe's like? Yeah, I did. I should give the calligraphy a like too, just to mess with him. This is the Auditor 19, Model 8 of 2021. The Squig Herd from Zarbag Gitz Underworld's Warband. Lots of interesting effects to experiment on with this guy. Contrast paints with highlights. Very cool. Yeah, contrast paints, you know, just they are real time saver. For anybody who's not really used to using contrast paints, it's basically your base coat and shade wash in one. That's really the easiest way to kind of reconcile them into your painting routine. Yeah, it's like doing your base coat and shade wash in one step. But this looks really good. I'd be mindful of the highlights. Like, I'm looking at the way you highlighted your armor on this guy, and you have a very uniform highlight running the entire perimeter. And I think you would get see kind of like how your final white highlight, you just touch in areas, but like that looks like the highlight before it goes the entire length of details. And I don't think it's entirely necessary. Yeah, you're doing it on the blues, because I can see there's a little bit of blue. You're going for that gradient. But anyway, yeah, just be mindful of that kind of stuff. You know, I would recommend to, you know, if you're working with your color on a palette, to thin the color down, and also bust out your, you know, your really good pointy brushes. Yeah, like I can see those little spot highlights on the armor and everything like that. You are capable of doing it. I think just taking your time. The flesh, the work on the flesh almost looks like a glazing. The way this is, like the way this looks in the picture, it almost looks like there's a filter, like a cartoon filter. And I'm not being critical of your work at this point. I'm just the way the colors are all at play here, and just the levels of contrast, which is, you know, very interesting. I'm sure in person this is very eye catching, and you know, I'm sure it looks really great. But yeah, because painting to the camera is different from painting to the eye. What's this? Disco. Oh, he's doing some World War II kits. And she's done. Hope you like her. Ravel's 172 Type 9 U154 U61 U-boat. 67, I should say. Fairly simple painting process and some oil weathering and detail work. And yeah, scale modeling, that's really all it takes. It's just little bits. It's being very efficient with your use of color to do scale modeling. It's really it. Even regular miniatures. It's all it takes. Yeah, see? It's very effective. Just lay down some base color, throw some grime, do a quick oil wash, and then she's done. And it looks fantastic. Yeah, so this is Disco Duke. Taking a break from regular miniatures and doing some scale modeling. I know I have my World War II kit I gotta get back to. I have what is it, M41? Yeah, it's an M41 Bulldog. I gotta get that thing fucking done. Speaking of piles of shame. Also my Gundam. I gotta get my Gundam done. I haven't worked on that in ages. But anyway. Nice work, Disco. That's me. Did we look at this one? Somebody doing graffiti. Way of the brush. But are you using a brush when doing that kind of graffiti? I guess somebody's probably using a roller, right? Because I could see like that light blue stuff up above. It looks like it was applied with a roller. Whereas the rest of the stuff looks like it was spray can. Yeah, that looks like it was done with a roller. Yeah, I have no idea what this stuff's saying. And yeah, we're all caught up. Cool. So, yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, anybody who wants me to have a peek and they don't feel like sending me an email, just, yeah, use the hashtag #WayTheBrush. And on the Instagrams. The Instagrams. And I'm sure I'll get to it. Imperial probe droids going by.
Dead bodies everywhere.
Everywhere. Oh shit, where am I in these comments? Corvonix, please. Just posted a work in progress for your Kris. For my Kris? I don't have a Kris. No fucks, life of Brian. Biggest diggest. He has a wife, you know. Do you want to know what her name is? Incontinentia. Incontinentia Butticus. Derek Lewis, really nice gold. Yeah, I like the gold. It was nice. It's pretty. Fire Drink just got back. Had to narfle the gun. Resi, I definitely warmed up to using contrast. I don't often base coat with them though. Use them more as a glaze. Yeah, use them as glaze. I mean, they you know, not they're multi-role, but you have to find their role. Because G-Dubs put them out there as a fairly quick way of getting people to paint their armies, right? That was the goal, is to get more armies painted, right? And that should always be the goal. Whoa.
Cold sweat, smiley face, I guess, lol, cold sweat, smile, cold sweat, smile.
Cold sweat, smile. Cold sweat, smile. I guess. Thank you, Leonid Lopez, for the super chat. Yeah, cold sweat smile. Cold sweat smile. It made me forget what contrast. Oh, contrast. Getting people, because I mean, like, getting people painting their armies is always a good thing, right? And Games Workshop put this contrast paint out there. And when a whole bunch of us got invited to, you know, get firsthand experience with this stuff, we were all pretty much doing the same thing, using them as, you know, glazes. We wanted to glaze all day with these things. We wanted airbrush. We wanted to bust out the airbrushes and see how they got applied. And, you know, like, not a lot of us were initially doing it the way Games Workshop was, imagining, I guess everybody would, right? But I mean, you throw anybody who's got a great deal of experience playing with colors, and yeah, they're just going to go off in different directions. Or maybe that's what they wanted, because maybe they wanted to kind of see if this kind of product would have legs and would be something around 20 years from now, right? Which I can see, definitely. I mean, I'm kind of surprised more companies who produce paints don't produce more clear colors, because clear colors are very fantastic. It's just a great way of resaturating something, shifting values, you know what I mean? Going for effects. I mean, when I was showing Sigvald's Cape Cloak, we laid red down, and then I shaded with Shyish Purple. I think I was using Shyish Purple, and I was just airbrushing that and just using it like a shade, And because it's a clear, it plays really nicely with the undercolor, creating a visual blend for the eye as opposed to, actually blending it, right? So, yeah. Anyway. Corvonix plays. Okay, posted better pics of my Terminator. Okay. Oh, you mean on the Instagram? Fuck, did I close that window? I think I closed the window. Oops. Let me reopen it. There we go. Let's go back. We going back? Corvonix. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, so Corvonix. Yeah, we'll jump back to the Instagrams. There we go. It's Terminator with Thunderhammer. First time making the effect and going to a very dirty old feel. What? To the shoulders and shield. Going to the dirty old feels. Oof. Anyway, you know what? I like the look that you've got going on for the hammer. I like the colors you used. The first read, looking at it though, it reads more like it is a gemstone. It's more like it's made of a different material. My first impression is not that it's lightning, though it could be the angles I'm looking at it. But yeah, and also it's kind of blurry too, so I can't really make out the details. But don't feel bad about that. I mean, I think really where you're going to really dial in the idea of lightning and energy is not pushing such big, bright areas and getting really, really fine with that thin line, light blue. If you've ever heard the expression, less is more, that is what you want to be doing. So you see on the top of the back end of the hammer, see how we can see kind of two big glowy spots? To my eye, that's a little much. Especially because it's the back of the hammer. What if you had that on more of the front end of the hammer, and it stays a little darker towards the back of the hammer, and you have the lightning going across those two surfaces. So it kind of has this linked appearance. So the energy is kind of coming from one direction of the hammer, right? Just an idea. Just, I'm not saying paint over that, and I'm definitely not saying that. But the next time you're going for this kind of look, bear that in mind. I like the weathering of the white. I like that kind of aged look to the white. I would assume it's either like sepia or Eggrex Earthshade on top of the white. Be mindful of your transfers. I'm looking at those guys in the background, and that paint looks pretty heavy. And if you are looking to preserve really bright areas like that on a model, you're probably having to lay a lot of paint down, because you're putting white on top of black, which means that you have to put a whack ton of white down on top of that black, versus if when you were priming the model, you left that area unpainted. You either left it off the model and did it by hand, or you primed the entire model white and then mask over those shoulders and then spray the rest of the model in black. And then just peel your mask away, and you have, you know, because it is a bit of a pain having to apply a bunch of layers of white on top of black to build up to a nice solid black. And what ends up happening is because you're doing that, when you lay those transfers on top, there's a lot of room for air to get in behind that transfer, especially if you're doing just water and you're not using any solvent sets that will conform that better to that surface. Although before laying that transfer down, you do want to have a smoother surface, because that way the transfer will adhere better. And then, of course, you want to seal that transfer afterwards. But otherwise, yeah, fantastic work. I like the quartering on the shield. I think when you're going to do something like that quartering on the shield, I think something like that should be replicated on his shoulder pad. Especially because it kind of differentiates him from the rest of his squad. Or even maybe their squad has that marking, that quartering, right? But yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks. Oh wait, I didn't give that a like. There we go. Got a like out of me. You got a like out of me. It took a while, and you had to listen to me badger on about stuff, but yeah, you got the like. Oh shit! Where the hell am I? Whoop. Where'd the chat go? There we go. What time we at here? Holy crap! There's only 8 minutes left of the show. I better hurry up. Mikey RR. I like it. I like it too. Razio. Yeah, I think contrast can sometimes be better over some metallics because it isn't as matte as the usual washes. No, other than the gloss washes, which is why in a lot of videos when you see me painting with using like Null Oil or egg racks, I always go with the gloss on top of metallics because it preserves that metallic luster, as opposed to using something matte, which will knock that luster right out. So yeah. Anyway. Killer Whale Kris, if I may, how would you do a blue OSL glow in recesses, white lines, and glazing? A blue OSL glow in recesses. Like, give me an example. Like an eye lens, or like the Thunderhammer. Because yeah, I got Space Marines on the brain now after looking at the lightning on that Thunderhammer. A blue glow in recesses. So, or are we talking about like the light is emanating from, say, within the cracks of something, and the light is kind of like, and it's coming out? And typically, it's the quick way would be to thin color down whatever, like say it's blue, darker blue, thinned out. Comes out like a millimeter out from the detail, and then another layer of that blue thinned out so that we get a gradient. A step up, brighter blue right at the edges of the detail, and then I would take white or really, really light blue, thin it down, use Liquitex Flow Aid to make it like a shade wash, and touch those areas so that it bleeds into those lines with that brighter color. Wait till that's thoroughly dry, and then come in with a pure white and go for intersections to create the light sourcing and make it really, really bright. But that's how pretty much I would go about it if I was doing it entirely by brush. If you're doing it by airbrush, well then obviously just follow along the details, creating a soft gradient, and then come in and still use like Flow Aid with a mixture, and then use it like a shade wash and apply it in. And yeah, once he's really one of the big changers for your workflow is using a Flow Aid. Like, I prefer Liquitex Flow Aid, and you can pretty much turn any color you want into a shade wash, and you have no limits at that point. You have no limits because you can do anything. You can go for any kind of effect after that. Corvonix plays, I was applying the transfers when I took the picture. I'm actually working on it right now. Oh, okay. And yeah, the whole squad is using that effect. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. Anytime you want me to see it, man, just use the hashtag #WayTheBrush. Mikey R. I quite like oil washes over metallics, but they are a faff. What the hell does faff mean? Mikey, what's faff mean? What does it mean? I don't know what it means. Killer whale. Yeah, cracks. Cracks, yeah. So yeah, as I described, that's how that would be the process. If I was doing it by hand, by brush, yeah. Take a darker blue, whatever. It really doesn't matter what blue. It just a darker blue from what you're imagining. Because eventually you're going to take that darker blue, you can turn it into a glaze, very thin glaze, and glaze, like, it all depends on how intense you want that glow to be. If you want it to look really intense, you'll push the glow further out from the source and go to a pure white for the actual source itself. It can be uniform across the cracks, right? The entire crack could be that same glow width. If you want to be really, really controlled, then where you're imagining that maybe the source of the glowing and further away, it would taper off, so it would be less blues towards the cracks, right? And more blue further out from where the source might be imagined. Again, there's many, many different ways to go about it. But like the really big way of accomplishing your goal is getting used to working in thin glazes. If you're only working within a paintbrush, if you have access to an airbrush, then you can do a little bit more. But regardless, if you're not that used to glazing, or you are still you consider yourself relatively inexperienced with glazes, then yeah, pulling off OSLs, and I've mentioned this for new people many, many times, move past it. You don't need it. You'll get there when you get there. Right? The three fundamentals. What are the three fundamentals? Right? If you don't know how to lay down a nice smooth base coat, doing fine glazes, you're going to have difficulty. You're going to struggle. But when you really start to master laying a smooth base coat down, it unlocks a doorway already in your brain. You'll already have the experience doing it when you want to work with thin glazes. If you can lay down a nice smooth base coat, concepts like glazing and stuff like that all of a sudden make more sense to you. But you have to paint lots. Mikey R, I'm not sure how or if I could integrate contrast into my painting. British English, a lot of work. I know the Canadian translation. I don't know the Canadian translation. I'm not sure if we can integrate contrast into my painting. Well, like we're talking contrast paints, right? Not just contrast, because you need contrast in your painting to any degree. I mean, if you can just lay flat color down, sure, but you want contrast, right? Shadows, highlights, all that stuff. That's contrast. Contrast paints, Citadels, contrast paints. Integrating it into your painting, it's not difficult. It's just, you can start off by, using the deeper color. For example, let's say for example, I had laid down an orange, but I wanted it to be a darker red, or I wanted to shade it in darker red. Well, I could use a darker red, like say Flesh Terror's red, thinned out, use a bit of the Citadel contrast medium to thin it the color down, and glaze it into the shadows, and it would push that overall tone towards red in towards the recesses. Or I could just hit it with a big blob of it and, let it do its thing. You're at the mercy of contrast or even shade washes at that point. Which is why for a lot of new people, I often recommend to get out of the habit of just applying a shade wash to accomplish all your shadow tones. To be very deliberate when placing your shadow tones. If your goal is to become more proficient in your painting, so that you can go for higher tabletop or display type stands or competition type stands, right? These are the kind of things you have to be very, very deliberate. You can't just willy-nilly slap color down. You can, again, knowing the rules and then knowing when to break them, right? So that's a big thing about art. That's a huge thing about art. It's knowing the rules and then knowing when to break them and when not to break them. That's a huge thing about art. But yeah, I mean, if you currently see no need for contrast in your painting process, then don't worry about it. I mean, yeah. Now, I mean, taking a sour note towards contrast paints is a bit sour grapes. If you're familiar with that, you know, just shitting on it, just, you know, because you don't get it or don't have access to it or whatever. And so people just shit on it because, you know, I mean, it's envy. It's envy. It's envious, right? So, you know, you don't want to be perceived as envious about it. Green, right? So, you know, okay, some people dig contrast paints. Some people don't. You know, some people, you know, it's central to their painting efforts, and some people, it's unnecessary. Now, anybody who is doing any kind of airbrushing or using colors.
Whenever you're done.
You brought home lunch?
Yeah.
Whenever I'm done?
Yeah.
So I gotta hurry up and get done? Is what you're saying? Hear that? Wife basically telling me that it's lunchtime and, you know, fuck you guys. It's time to eat if I want to eat my meal warm. Anyway. Unaided foot. Unaided foot. Unaided foot. Just found you by way of an older painting tutorial. Great channel. Canadian flag. Well, thank you. Thank you. Unaided foot. Unaided foot. Monkey R. Okay, contrast paints sound like they do a similar job to an oil wash, but I like oils because you can move the pigment. I think oils are quite beginner friendly if you're mature enough to respect them. Sure. Well, that's true of anything, right? You always have to respect the tools, right? Well, what's the mantra of this show? Take care of your brushes, right? That extends to everything. Take care of your materials, and they'll be there when you need them to be, right? So take care of your brushes, they'll take care of you. And because I said it, I'm gonna end the show. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're not quite like an oil wash, because when breaking it down and thinning them out with medium, contrast medium, or water, if you will, you can use them as a glaze right on top of a surface. Resaturate color or push colors in different values, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can go anywhere. It's just like using a clear color. And that's all contrast paints are. They're just clear colors. Now, I wish they finished with a gloss finish, because then you can always matte it afterwards. Versus the way they currently finish, which is closer to a satin, for the most part, not quite. And, you know, that just, because when they sit on top of metallics, you know, they lose that luster, and throwing a gloss on top of them doesn't bring it all the way back. You've killed it. And if they finished with a gloss, they would preserve the metallic luster so that you could actually, say, take a pure silver, whatever Citadel silver you want, throw it on the model or spray can, right? And then use the contrast and apply it, and you'd get that nice, rich, metallic color. You seal it in Ard coat or Lamian medium if you wanted to knock it back, right? And, you know, but again, you shouldn't have to struggle with your colors to get your desired results, which is why if I'm going with, you know, colored metallics, like I'm going with silver and then I'm going to lay a clear color on top of it, I often go outside of Citadel for that, because you know, Citadel should have finished their paint to finish with a gloss instead of going matte or towards matte. I told them that when I first played with the paints. I said these should finish with a gloss, because people are going to want to put these paints on top of metallics, and people are going to want to go for those really, really fun colored effects on metallic paints. And, you know, they do kind of work for the most part, but for me, I'm a bit of a colored metallic snob in that regard. I love a chrome with a color on top of it. It just is beautiful. It just looks beautiful. It's like fucking Lamborghini red. It's like a Lamborghini. It's just that metallic. It looks great. Anyway. Corvonix. Do you recommend any other medium? I do have Lamian medium, but I would like to have alternatives to purchase. The mediums from Citadel, Lamian medium is fine. Art coat obviously is a good one to have. Storm Shield, I can't recall. Is that as more of a satin finish or is that one more of a gloss finish? I can't remember. I don't play with it that often. Oh, that's lunch.
That's lunch.
Yeah, let me see. That's lunch, people. Nice. All right. Some black bush.
Trying to get your hammer.
Yeah. Some black bush despite my wife being blonde. Ombre. Oh, shit. Ombre pubes. Anyway. Oh, shit. I'm completely lost what time we had. Oh, 7 minutes OT. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Okay. You know what? Let's jump over to the email side of things. I don't think we have any other common thing here. Mikey R. Tangent. How do you feel about gloss varnish over metallics? Yeah. Fuck you. You're trying to get me to go off on a long tangent there, aren't you? All right. Let's do an email. Because we have a few, actually. So we're going to get to these emails really fast. Not super fast, but, you know, fast. Let's go with this one. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, but here it comes. email time. Email time. Is it done? Oh, shit, it's done. See, I don't hear it, so anyway. All right, this is from our good buddy Brandon Taylor, or AKA the B-Man. Do you use that sounds like an old car starting. Do you use there's your fucking soundbite there, people. Do you use transfers very much? I do. I have such a difficult time getting them on the right spot. I picked up Microsol and Microset, but I haven't used them yet. That's a fucking B-Man's a poet and he doesn't even know it. I picked up Microsol, Microset, but I haven't used them yet. Grandmother color. I've heard good things. Have you tried them? I'll probably use 3D printed iconography. God, I can't even spit that word out now. Making fun of words. Moving forward, though. And let's have a look at his Imperial fists. The fistings of Imperials. When you need a regal fisting, if you were royalty, would that be code for a fisting? I need the old Imperial fist. Holy shit. Okay, so transfers. All right, I do have a video on transfers. If you go into my channel, you might have to go back about a year or so. I do have, or any other, I think also the Primaris on bike. I also talk about doing transfers. Your application looks fine. You're using the Microsol and Microset, which is good. I used them ages ago, but then I discovered that basically with transfers, let me go back to camera here. That if I'm going to go really, what's the word? Like really nitpicky about applying the transfers. Okay, here's real quick. Here's the rundown. Paint job, smooth finish for the paint job. I apply a gloss varnish. Typically, if it's a small area like that, I'll use Art Coat. It's the gloss varnish that Citadel creates. I'll apply a layer of that evenly, smooth. So it has a nice smooth finish. Not very thick. It's just like a quick little layer. It's not a very heavy layer. That provides really good surface for the decal to grab hold of, the transfer. The decal, the decal. Anyway, okay? So, depending if the complexity of the image, I will use my X-Acto blade to create little notches on the surface. So, for example, like an ultramarine U, you really do need to slice it inside that negative space of the U shape, right? Not all the way through half of the decal, just a little bit from the thing, just so it conforms better to the surfaces. So once I have that gloss layer, I take the transfer, And then, of course, when I'm setting up my solutions, I will often use a capful of white vinegar, regular, household white vinegar, capful into my dish. And oftentimes I will use a regular dish, just a shallow dish. Oftentimes they have little divots in them. I will fill that with water, and I'll add a capful to that. So what kind of ratio of solution is that? It's more like probably a 1 to 10 parts water, right? It's probably more like that kind of ratio. It's more to 1 to 10, maybe even 1 to 15, possibly even 1 to 20, depending. And that's really more like the micro solution. It is a very acidic. It helps the transfer come away from the carrier paper much easier, right? And it also provides a bit of softening because the acid is penetrating that decal, because it is a very thin layer of plastic, and the acid is, biting into that surface, making it more conformable. It's making it more, flexible in that regards. So you slap it onto the surface, bang, okay? You squeegee out the excess water. Done, okay? Well, it's just after the squeegeeing phase, you take your set solution. Now, microset is that setting solution. You use that on top, right? Or do I have the order in reverse, microsalt? But anyway, I only use a capful of water thing, slap it onto the surface, and then I use Walthers. I love this stuff. I'm empty of this, but I have 2 more bottles over here somewhere. I had to source high and low in Canada to find this stuff. But anyway, this stuff comes with a little brush inside, and you just apply it right on. If you're going to use this kind of stuff, I love this stuff. I've used this for many, many, many years. And this stuff is great. This melts the transfer. So if you're putting this on top of like where there's panel lines and stuff, I don't have my Aeronautica here. A really fun one was like the Aeronautica model, and it has little panel lines, and I put the wings on the Valkyrie for Aeronautica, and yeah, and it goes right in. I've done it many times. A lot of my Eldar has transfers. I use the big Samhan because I don't feel like freehanding. I can freehand that design onto the model all day long. I can freehand that stuff. But it's not efficient. And just because I can do something, if something is faster and easier and makes my life less difficult, why wouldn't I use a transfer, right? And a lot of times people don't use transfers because they often don't get good results. But if you follow along to the video that I talk about, you'll have good results every time. So I use Walthers. You apply that fairly generously, not too generous, not overly saturated area, but you apply it over the model or the decal, not the model, but the decal. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't move it. The moving the transfer around and getting it to the right place, that should have been accomplished when you were still setting it down, using water to maneuver it, and then squeegeeing out the water. That's when you should have finalized where it's sitting, because when you apply the Walthers or the solvent set, you apply that in fairly generous fashion and then leave it to dry. Let it dry, right? And it'll conform to the details. It'll get into nooks and crannies. Little bolt heads will poke through, and you know what I mean? It basically melts the transfer so it conforms to the surface. Then you can seal it in gloss, or you can seal it with matte. And when you seal it in matte, it melts right, like it makes the transfer look like it was hand painted on, and it'll conform right to the model surface, and it looks beauty. But yeah, you want to give like a couple hours to dry, to thoroughly dry out. It dries quickly because I think the Walthers has, and I think Solvent Set have like alcohol in their solutions. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's an alcohol in the solution. But yeah. So anyway, I do have a video on it. You'll have to go back quite a bit. It's a fresh tip on transfers, and yeah, that's how I go about. That's often the way I prescribe applying transfers onto a model, and it has yet to fail me, and I get good results. And of course, you can always, even after varnishing, you can always apply paint onto them to weather them, and do other stuff, and or even just add highlights to the transfer. But yeah, so hopefully, B-Man, that helped. I don't even know if you're still in the chat. Are you still here? Oh yeah, you're here. Yeah, you look for the video. Yeah, it's fresh tips. Probably can just like in YouTube, you can just type in fresh tips to transfers, and it should pop up. you'll probably get a bunch of videos on doing transfers. I've talked about transfers many times, even with my mini wargaming work that I've done. I've done transfers many times there as well. But usually it's all about the same technique or procedure, I guess. It's a procedure. A lot of this stuff is just largely procedural, right? So, you know, yeah. Any other comments? Pressing no. Unaided foot. You earned a new patron, my friend. Awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Unaided foot. Thank you very much. I will get to that in a bit. And yeah, the big one for the patrons is early access to the videos and stuff like that. And you'll see that today. Well, today for the patron. Oh shit, I forgot to post about that. But today was part 2 for Brazen Claw. Working on Brazen Claws. So anybody, I know people out there like, Kris, you're working on an actual Space Marine? I am actually working on an actual Space Marine. I know. Brazen Claw. I didn't see anybody do any Blade Guard veterans in Brazen Claw color scheme, so we're gonna do a Brazen Claw Blade Guard veteran. So anyway, so yeah, thank you very much, Unaided Foot. Unaided Foot. Is that in reference to my Hobbit feet? Anywho, yeah, so Brandon, yeah, hopefully you find that, hopefully that helps and kind of, you know, clears it up and just kind of, yeah, if you follow like pretty much how I describe it, that's the procedure in which I go through every time for transfers, every time. Sometimes I skip the vinegar in the water step, and it has yet to really kind of throw a monkey wrench into my procedure, but yeah, that's how I pretty much go about transfers. I've done that for years and 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 years. Next email is from our good buddy, Dr. Xantos. Hello, my Gaylord. It's been quite a while since I've sent a message or attended the stream. Things have been very busy on my end and haven't really been able to paint, but I did do something in the end. Here are a couple of picks that I've been doing. The skeleton boyos are from last year, and they're progressing very slowly. And the Necron was fast and dirty paint to see if I still got it this year. Be seeing you later, Dr. Xantos. And so, here are his skeleton duders. Oh, let me switch windows. There we go. So, skeleton duders. I like them. I like the color scheme. I like that. Are we keeping that bright blue? Are you going to do like a water base? Are you doing water? Like these are like kind of Pirates of the Caribbean kind of vibe? That'd be cool. I have no idea what's going on here. But yeah, I like the wood. I actually like that how smooth that wood looks. Without getting, you know, too tied up in the texture, you know. The really strong blue on the base is actually, I dig it. Like, are you going for a water effect? I don't know if you're still here, Dr. Xantos. Are you still here? No. Well, haven't commented yet, although you might not have seen this yet. But anyway, the skeletons are good. Oh, I like the blue-green fire. When we were talking about ugly colors earlier, like ugly colors next to each other, I'm not a huge fan of blue-green. But, like a blue-green of the same value, but if you go with a darker blue and say a really light green, almost more yellowy green, it looks really cool. Kind of like this. Man, I almost fucked that up saying that up. But yeah. Be careful not to push too many colors. I like the really sense of strong, cool colors here with that, the aid of that kind of lime green in the flames. I think for the flames in the hair, that could have been pushed even further. That idea of that light green in there, almost yellowy green. I would keep the blue in the cloak, the fluids, or the fluids. Fuck, the cloth. I would keep that more to blues. I mean, you can push it towards the greens if you want to have more of a unified theme across everything. I think the robes on the model himself could also push towards this blue. It could be even darker if you wanted to maintain. But as I was saying, with too many colors, just because you have like that really bright gold, that really warm gold going on, and then of course you have the bone on the skeletons themselves. The bone color actually is more of a neutral tone. it's almost like working with grays in that regard. Same with like the pure metallic colors. It's almost like a gray, but I see like on the armor of him, you have like that slight purple shift. If you kept that purple shift closer towards the blue purple side of things, I think you really have something there. Again, just so that you don't have too many colors at play. Because that mid-tone purple, like that, what you've got going on there, that almost pushes towards more of the red side of things. And it can kind of conflict with what you're doing. So if you had more of that bluish purple at play on the metal, and then of course you have the stronger blue at play on the cloth, and then his robes are a blue, darker blue, and they can even push towards even darker blue than what you've got going on in the horse. You can provide separation without having to, go into too many colors, right? If that makes sense. Oh, look at this. Very, very nice. I like the brown. Oh, I like the OSL and the punchy fist thing. It's not a punchy fist, right? It's some sort of like harpoon gun or some crazy crap. I can't remember what the hell that fist is. Anyway, somebody gonna get a fist. Somebody gonna get a fist. Nice work. I like the crackling in the base too. Were you gonna go for like a crack? Is that what you're doing with your skeleton duders? Is you're laying that blue down and then you're gonna go with a dark crackle on top? So it looks like you see that bright blue in through the cracks. Is that the vibe you're going for? Is it what you want? I sound like Google Translate now. I like the way you did the green. On those big orbs, you probably could push that bright yellow green a little closer towards that white. Or maybe it's just the way it looks on the camera. Maybe it looks spot on in person. I could be completely off on that. It is entirely possible that I am off. But I like the orb. I like it. I like the glowiness. It's all really cool. And these new sculpts from Games Workshop. I'm an avid Eldar player. I'm Eldar through and through. And these new Necrons have me like, yeah, these fucking Necrons are freaking cool, man. Like, they some cool looking models. And if I was to start a newer force, it might be Necrons. But I would be totally efficient with my painting. So it would be chrome paint jobs. The way I've pretty much demonstrated them in the videos is how I would do my army. And in fact, that's pretty much it. My Necrons are like that. It's chrome. It's chrome. Chromenids? Anyway. Dr. Xantos, yeah, they're going to get crackle paint. Okay. Oh, Aaron Seach, hey, buddy. Hey. Yeah, so they are going to get crackle mediumed. Okay, so that blue, like on the skeletons, you're going to lay that blue. It's going to be bright blue, and then you're going to lay the dark crackle medium on top, and it looks like, I get it. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It's very cool. Fire Jade 18, I think this year I'm really going to have to get dedicated paint area. Yes, that helps. It helps to have an area, even if you only get to paint once a week. Now, mind you, yeah, if you live with others and spaces premium in your household, then you just got to get used to, taking in, setting up, taking down, every time you go through a paint session, which is why you probably want to be more efficient in your, your setup, right? Something that, kind of like I've seen them elsewhere, where it's kind of like a briefcase, and you just open it up and you have all your shit in front of you, and you just go, oh, okay, time to put everything away, close it all up and put it away. I've seen those options. I can't recall any particular names of those things, but I know they exist. It's like a little carry case, and it has all your paints, or a section of paints, place for your brushes, place for your tools, you know what I mean? It's like a little hobby center. You just open it all up, and you can just get to work, and then when you're done, you just put your tools away. You got to clean them and everything, right? Take care of your tools, put them away, close it up, and then put that case away and, get back to daily life. Whatever your options are, right? And, again, it's all situational, just like everything else in this. One solution isn't a solution across everything. right? It's, you know, you gotta pick and choose your ideas here, and so, you know, and of course it's whatever resources, or maybe you're just really crafty and you can make yourself something, right? That's also an option. Absolutely nothing wrong with just taking some cardboard and making a quick little painting setup that, you know, can have all your shit, and then just close it up, put it in a box. Use an old army boxes, right? Grab your old, you know, Age of Sigmar box or Warhammer 40k box. Have your paints, have it all nicely arranged, and then just open it up, have your painting area, bang, bang, bang. Absolutely nothing wrong. Taking your old painting cases, your miniature cases, and having all your paints in there. You know what I mean? Like, there's many options you can go through. Dr. Xantus, I'm going to send a better pics of the bases sometime when they look better. Or just send when you finish them. It's whenever you finish them. You know, this isn't a painting competition. It's not like I'm judging you on your painting or anything like that. Like, it's, you know, it's whatever you do. Holy crap, we got to hurry up. Because I am getting hungry now. This is from our good buddy Derek. Hey everybody, been moving and working overtime. Truck mechanic. Since COVID started, had no time for painting. Hours backed off recently, and I have had time to work on something new. I'm working on this for a competition. Not quite done with the head and claws. Hope you all enjoy. There's a competition piece he's working on. Ooh, look at this. It's a dragoon. A dragon. Very, very cool. Are we working airbrush on this? It looks a bit like the gradients there is airbrush. So that'll help you along with creating your gradients. I have no idea how big this is. It's got a lot of detail. Who makes this model? I don't even know. It almost looks like it's like a Reaper model, maybe. It's from Reaper. I have no idea. If it's a competition piece, take your time. Make sure you build up nice solid colors. Any gaps in areas, I would fill them in if this is for a competition. Because if it's a competition, you definitely want to be doing your best effort, right? And taking your time. Get rid of the mold lines, fill the gaps, right? Lay down nice, smooth, bold color. Well, it doesn't have to be bold, but lay down nice, smooth color. If you're doing airbrush and you want to preserve the clarity of the flying stand, I definitely would mask it off. Of course, though, you could always, later on, once you're done the project, you could also just take iso alcohol and just gently peel the paint off of, like use like a Q-tip or even like a cotton swab or something. Q-tip or cotton swab, yeah, same thing. And just, clean the paint off the flying stand. That'll work just as fine as well. Clear plastic tends to be like a denser plastic, like harder. And yeah, so it's pretty easy to clean. Using iso alcohol will clean that off the flying stand. So anybody who has flying stands and you get paint and you're airbrushing whatever, yeah, typically you should mask it off just so you don't have to go through the extra step. But you can also just take iso alcohol and just pull it right off that surface, and it won't mar up that clear plastic. That also works for clearing paint off of, like, for anybody who paints the canopies of their tanks or flyers or whatever, and you have those clear parts and you got paint on it, yeah, you just take some iso alcohol and you just gently just peel it right off, and it comes off. So anyway, last one is from our good buddy Raziel, and yeah, hi y'all. I was told to send pics, so here they are. I just wanted to strip down and smooth out the speeder some. It's about ready for Blood Angel colors. Statue is some sort of plaster type antique my mom wants me to sort of restore for her birthday. It's got some minor cracks and damage, spraying it with fine texture and then gray outdoor enamel so it looks like stone. She's sticking it in the garden, and I figure some moss and green things will grow on so the stone looks classic. That's it. Not more interesting than that. LOL. Hope everyone is having a great day. Reziel. And so here's the speeder. And so he is clearing the prime. Yeah, that prime is smooth. That the hood and the side detail. This looks like it was made from like plastic card or something like that. Or like it's a 3D print. Is it a 3D print? And you just put plastic bits on it? or is this a straight plastic kit? You've just smoothed it right out. But holy crumble! Oh, I gotta change cameras. Here we go. Sorry, didn't change cameras. Yeah, you got the mounting going on. Very, very interesting. Because like the hood and like some of the areas, like they're perfectly flat. Like I'm sure you could take a straight edge to that and damn, this is flat. But either way, that's very, very cool. That does look like some meticulous sanding. Oh, and the statue. Yeah, and you want it to look like stone. Damn, okay. Like if it was me, I'd fill in some of those gaps. If it's a plaster, yeah, I definitely would probably take some plaster or even some like wood filler or milliput or green stuff. Fill in some of those extra spots that are might like the tip of the nose if it's broke. If there's any cracks, fill them in. Maybe, more than likely. And personally, I would do this like bronze. I'd spray it in a bronze metallic spray paint, and then I would take dark green and light green, break them into a shade wash, and deliberately shade wash in recesses. Treat this like one big ass miniature. I'd make this a bronze because I see it already as a bronze, but I would add that verdigris into the model or onto the surface and make it look like it's already an antique bronze. But if you're doing it like stone, then yeah, just do it like stone. And then of course, yeah, you could also take a green and put that in the recesses near the base of objects or in the recesses of areas and make it look like, that mossy. You ever see like old concrete, and it has like the greens and the dark browns and it gets the runs in the surface? You could always do that. You could deliberately weather it and then seal it in a clear, the entirety of it, and that will preserve the paint job and preserve the plaster from, getting soft in age and things of that nature. But yeah, that's very, very cool. Yeah. Me personally, though, yeah, I'd do it like a bronze statue. Make it look like an antique bronze. I mean, like, if you really want to impress your mom, I mean, who doesn't want to impress their mom? Yeah, and do a bit of a flex of your painting abilities. Yeah, I'd paint it like a bronze with the verdigris in it and make it look like an antique bronze statue. If I wanted to impress my mom. Reziel, plastic art added to the normal kit. Oh, okay. Literally buying stain for the statue at this second. Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Well, then there we go. Okay, it's going to be stained. So ignore everything I said about, doing it like bronze. Okay, stick to your plan and do it. Oh, Derek, it's a WizKid Pathfinder Dragon. Ah, okay. It's WizKids. Okay. But yeah, if you're doing it for a competition, though, I would fill in those gaps. I would get rid of the mold lines, and then provide a nice solid prime on it, and then go from there. Especially if it looks like you have access to an airbrush, yeah, you should be able to handle that, no problem. The big one will be taking care of those mold lines. Even like along the edge of the wings, you'll probably see there's a mold line running along that. Knock that down carefully. Be very deliberate. And of course, like where the wing meets up with the body, I can see like there was a gap in there. Fill that in. Smooth it over, especially if this is for competition. If it's for competition pieces, you want to display all your skill. So that means, obviously, you have a firm grasp of the fundamentals, right? And then, of course, even though you're using a brush, that's not at least it shouldn't be a minus in any judge's mind using an airbrush. It's a tool like anything else. And, you use the airbrush to create your gradients, and you still have to come in by a regular brush to, catch edges or do details, do the eyeballs, scales, dots, things, whatever, right? All I'm saying is you have to go full try hard. Maximum effort for if you're going to go competition, because, it's all about impressing people, right? And of course, that's also your choice of colors and, things of that. And, you're judged on many things, hopefully. And yeah. But anywho, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And yeah, we're 35 minutes OT right now, so we're done. If you're brand new to this hobby, you want some help with the color scheme. Maybe you want to show off what you're working on. Maybe you're a commission painter and you just want to, show off what you're working on and what have you. Or, I'm open to any and all. And of course, send me those emails. Kris@wayofthebrush. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments. Don't send them off as links to other sites because I just won't do it. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Center hub of all the silliness has links to all the social medias. Follow me on all the social medias because I post different things to different platforms just because, I don't know, keep it interesting, I guess. I could just blanket post across everything, but what's the point, right? Instagram, I like posting pretty pictures. Twitter, sometimes I post silly shit or I update, when I'm doing things and blah, 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 right? So I think you guys get it. Join us on Discord. Discord's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there. And of course, I have various channels for various discussions. And just like this show, it is wide open to anything. We talk about anything and everything there. So, yeah. The only one rule, don't be a dick. It's the only rule. Don't be a dick, right? But it's my house, so I can be a dick. But you don't get to be a dick because it's my house. That's like, everybody's like, what? That sounds like bullshit to me. It is. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. But it's my bullshit because it's my house. So, too bad. Also at wayofthebrush.com, you'll find links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you. Even new patrons like Unaided Foot. Sorry, I was looking for the name. Huge thank you to everybody who supports. Without you guys and your support, I would not be able to do this show. This is all I do now. And if you want to help me continue to do what I do, which is educate and inform, sometimes entertain, that's how it's going to happen. Patreon. Huge thank you. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing, ringing the bell, all that other shit helps the algorithm gods. And, yeah. So, huge thank you. Huge thing. That helps as well. And it doesn't cost anything. All it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. Commenting. And commenting is another big one, apparently. More, like lots of comments, because it's interactions. It's all interactions, right? If you're interacting with this video, you're helping me. You are helping me. Believe it or not. And all you got to do is click the thumb up and, and add a comment. Even all the chat. When you're chatting in here, that's all helping the interaction as well, because it's all user feedback, right? And, yeah, so... the algorithm gods, right? The algorithm gods. I forgot where I am in the spiel. Oh, big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfair, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check it out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us in the living, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that played before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby bro, Evan, for creating the intro outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show, which I think we're going to rework. I think we're going to rework this intro. We'll make it a little bit shorter. I also have some ideas, which I'll discuss with the monkeys afterwards, because I want to involve the monkeys in a new intro. So, yes, new intro time. It's time to work on a new intro. Not intro, I think I worked on like 2 years ago almost. I think it's been almost 2 years. So, it's time to retire it. Move on to a new intro. New jingle, or new song, I don't know. I have to sweet talk my brother into, sharing his genius. And, yeah, so. So much love to my baby bro, Evan. And, of course, if you're into rare comics, like, you're really into rare comics, like, into them. Like, oh, man, I'm into that. Then, EB Comics. It's in the description below. Check him out. EB Comics. He's got the rare comic hookup. Like, hookup. It's kind of like, it's like Tinder or Grindr, but for comic people. And you swipe and you go, oh, that's the comic I like. That's the one I need, right? That'll settle, that'll scratch that itch. Everybody's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Fire Drink 18. Take care of your tentacle porn and they'll take care of you. That's pretty much it. Oh, Lord Krabby, you're late, buddy. So I've heard. Yeah, so I've heard too, Fire Drake. They'll take care of your tentacle porn for sure. That's it for today. I think we're done. I'm going to go eat because I need to eat. I'm not shaking yet. See? Steady. But I paint with this hand. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys later. And also, grandmother color. Grandmother color. Word to your mother. That's what it sounds like. That's how it sounds like. Grandmother color. It's word to your mother. Holy fuck. I gotta get the hell out of here. I think I'm going crazy.